Hey, Hockey fans, how's everybody doing? Two games on tonight. We got one right, we got one wrong. Out of the $14 that we risked, we ended up 26 cents. So our total now is $100.26. 15 games were slated to be played Saturday, January 8th. So far, 4 of those games have been postponed. The Ottawa, Vancouver games postponed. Seattle, Winnipeg postponed, Buffalo, Montreal, and the Islanders and the Oilers all postponed. We'll see if there's any more postponements tomorrow. But right now, there's 11 games. So we are going to go through them, make some picks, and we'll go through them a little quick because there's 11 to go through. There's one game. It's a 2 p.m. matinee game. That's the first one we're going to talk about. Pittsburgh against Dallas. Dallas is 5-5-0 in their last 10, current 3-game winning streak. Jake Ottinger has been confirmed to be in net for the Stars. Pittsburgh is a 10-0-0 in their last 10. Obviously, current 10-game winning streak. Tristan Jarry confirmed to be in net for the Penguins. Dallas currently 6th in the Central with 34 points. Last action Thursday when they achieved a 6-5 shootout victory over the Florida Panthers. Big win for them. This was the Stars' first game back since before Christmas. Jason Robertson with a goal in the game and then also the final goal in the shootout. Dallas gave up a shorthanded goal in the second frame and they were outshot 42-36, yet found the W. Joe Pavelski, at the age of 37, playing good hockey with points in his last 4 games. Ottinger has a strong 7-2-0 record coming into this one. Playing the Pittsburgh Penguins, some are going to argue they are the hottest team in the league right now, and they are one of the hottest teams for sure. A perfect 10-0-0 record in the last 10. Played Philadelphia on Thursday when the Penguins won that one quite easily, 6-2. Pittsburgh has scored 19 goals in 3 games so far this year. Brian Rust on a tear, owning 7 of those 19 goals, and he also has 4 helpers. Pittsburgh sits 4th in the Metropolitan, where 4 points separate first place and 4th place in that division. This is a 2 p.m. start, this game here. This concludes the 2-game series between these teams. October 19th, when they first met, it was a close game that went into a shootout. It was a 2-1 final for Dallas. Dallas has a really nice home record, actually. Even though they've definitely had their share of struggles this season, they're 12-3-1 at home, and Pittsburgh's obviously going to look to even this series. Money line minus 130 or 1.76 for Pittsburgh, plus 110 or 2.1 for Dallas. Over under set at 6. I'm going to start off with the home dog here early in the day. Dallas is going to be my pick to shut Pittsburgh down. That's my pick. Next game, we go on to Toronto against Colorado. Colorado 8-1-1 in their last 10, current 3-game winning streak. Darcy Kemper listed to be in net for the Avalanche. Toronto has Jack Campbell confirmed to be in net. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10, current 4-game winning streak. Colorado, another perfect team, winning all 3 games that they've played so far this year. The last one against Winnipeg when the Avalanche performed a dominating 7-1 victory, out-shooting the Jets, out-hitting the Jets, and going 3 for 4 on the power play. McKinnon, he was all over in the victory, logging 5 points, a goal and 4 helpers. Darcy Kemper having won his last 7 starts. Colorado first in goals for, sitting at 4.3. And a big test here because, Toronto is no slouch, right? Toronto, who sits second in goals against, and Leafs have had 2 of their games postponed already this year. Yet the Leafs also perfect this year, where they're 2-0. New Year's Day, a 6-0 victory over Ottawa, and then last action on Wednesday, a 4-2 win over a struggling Edmonton Oilers team. Now beginning a 4-game road trip. William Nylander in his own with 7-game point streak going. Jack Campbell putting together a solid season and proving to be one of the best in the league for sure. A 1.87 goals against average, a .939 save percentage, and 4 shutouts. He's got that to back it up. That tells you he's one of the best. This is another exciting game. I think there's a lot of good matchups here on the slate. Just teams, good paired up teams. Another series that ends after this game, December 1st, they played in Toronto, and the Leafs won that game 8-3, and Campbell was in net for the Leafs in that game, stopping 28 of 31. Comparable teams, good goalie matchup. Colorado, a strong home team again, 12-2-1 home record. And the Leafs will be without Mitch Marner and a couple other pieces in COVID protocol. Money line +1. These are opening lines. Bet365 didn't have some of the lines out yet, so these are opening lines. It's +108 or 2.08 for Toronto, -133 or 1.68 for Colorado, over under set at 6. I like the Avalanche, another home team, Colorado, to win that game. Number 3, we've got Boston against Tampa, a division matchup here. Tampa has Andrei Vasilevsky listed to be in net. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10. Current 2-game winning streak. Boston, Linus Ullmark listed to be in net. They're 5-3-2 in their last 10 with a current 1-game losing streak. Tampa, first place in the Atlantic with 51 points. Played Thursday against Calgary Flames. W for the Lightning with a 4-1 final. 4 different goal scorers for the Lightning, and Kucherov already back in the line producing with 2 helpers. Vasilevsky, he stopped 26 of 27. The Lightning, they're not just first in their division, they're first in the league. And with Kucherov in his second game back, they're going to be on a tear. I think they're just going to go all over Boston. Boston, 4th in the Atlantic with 36 points, coming off a loss Thursday against Minnesota when they were in town. It resulted in a 3-2 regulation win for the Wild. 4 of the 5 goals in that game were power play goals. Only 1 went 5-on-5. Boston was 2 for 5 when they held the Wild 2 for 8. A hard-fought loss. I mean, Taylor Hall, Brad Marchand with goals for Boston, but it was kind of an interesting game. I mean, like I said, 4 of the 5 goals, power play goals. It was a rough game. Teams met already once this season, December 4th, a 3-2 overtime victory for Tampa. This is a second game in a 4-game series between these two teams. Moneyline has Boston set at +130 or 2.3, Tampa at -150 or 1.66. Over-under set at 5.5. I actually like the over here in this game. I know a lot of people might argue that because of the goaltenders, but I think there could be a lot of goals here. I don't know if I'll play it, but I do like it. I like Tampa to win the game. Another favorite home team, Tampa, to win that game. Number 4, we got San Jose against Philadelphia. Philadelphia is 5-3-2 in their last 10, current 3-game losing streak. Martin Jones has been confirmed to be in net for the Flyers. San Jose has Aiden Hill listed to be between the pipes. They're 5-5-0 in their last 10, current 1-game winning streak. Philly has not registered a win yet this year. Last game Thursday, a 6-2 loss to Pittsburgh. They have been outscored 16-6 in the last 3 games. Flyers have 16 bodies listed under injuries, COVID, and illness. Some bodies could come back for this game. It's still a really tough spot for Philly. And if they can kind of get a win here, it would be huge. San Jose logged their first win of the year last game against Buffalo, a 3-2 final for the Sharks. Aiden Hill was in net for San Jose in his best game so far this season. It was a 3-0 for the Sharks after the first period, and they hung on and won the game. Buffalo came out strong. They outshot them 39-21, 22-5 in the third period. So, I mean, definitely gave them a run, but San Jose held on and got the win there. This concludes this series between teams. They played December 30th when the Sharks ended up on top. It was a 3-2 overtime final. Sharks, they're missing a few pieces, including Logan Couture. And again, most of it's COVID related. Erik Karlsson out with an injury. Moneyline -115 or 1.86 for the Sharks, -105 or 1.95 for Philly. Over under set at 6. I'm going to stay with the home team here. Philly to finally get a win and get something going. They need to. Their season's coming to an end quick. So, yeah, Philly to win that game. Number 5, Florida against Carolina. 2 top teams here. Carolina 9-1-0 in their last 10. Current 5-game winning streak. Antti Ranta listed to be in net for the Canes. Florida has Sergei Bobrovsky listed to be in net. 5-3-2 in their last 10 with an overtime decision as their streak. Canes, they're playing the tail end of back-to-back hockey after playing the Calgary Flames here on Friday night. That resulted in Carolina doubling up the Flames 6-3. Carolina 1 for 3 on the power play when they had the man advantage and held Calgary 0 out of their 4 chances. Carolina's strong defensive team, second in the penalty kill, first in goals against, currently first in the Metropolitan with 49 points. Goal differential now sitting at a plus 43 through 32 games. Very impressive. Florida, second in the Atlantic with 49 points last action Thursday when they lost 6-5 to Dallas in a shootout. Panthers have collected 5 of a possible 6 points so far this year. Panthers having no problem finding the back of the net, 16 goals in their last 3 games. Jonathan Huberdeau with 11 points in his last 4 games, playing some really nice hockey. Another great matchup, right? I mean, 2 top teams here, and this is the second of 3 games that these teams will play. November 6th, Florida won that game 5-2. Their third game was one of the ones that was postponed. It's going to need to be made up. Again, opening lines here because Bet365 didn't have them out yet for this game. Plus 108 or 2.08 for Florida, minus 133 or 1.75 for Carolina. I'm going to go the visiting dog here, not because I think Carolina is going to be tired, because I don't think they're going to be tired. But I think Florida might have them in a good spot here, and with Antti Ranta in net, I kind of like the Panthers to come out with a W here. And I like the visiting dog. That's my pick, Florida to win the game. Number 6, we've got New Jersey playing Columbus. Another division matchup here. 3-6-1 the last 10 for Columbus. Current 3-game losing streak. Jonas Korpisalo listed to be in net for the Blue Jackets. New Jersey has Mackenzie Blackwood listed to be in net again. They're 4-6-0 in their last 10. Current 1-game winning streak. Columbus falling now in 7th in the Metropolitan. 0 for 3 this year. New Jersey 5th in the division. These teams' last action was against each other Thursday when the Devils won that game 3-1. Blue Jackets desperately looking for something positive like a first win of 2022. They have lost 5 of their last 6. 4 of those losses, multiple goal differentials. The 1 win, an overtime victory. 1 point in the last 6 games. New Jersey has won 4 of their last 5 played since the Christmas COVID break. Jack Hughes has been fun to watch. He's got 4 goals and 8 helpers in his last 5 games. And Mackenzie Blackwood holding things together in net. Played great in Thursday's game against Columbus when he stopped 31 of 32. Series is split right now. October 3rd, it was a 4-3 Columbus shootout victory. January 6th, it was a 3-1 New Jersey victory. So this is the 3rd of 4 games that these teams will play. Money line has the Devils as a dog, plus 105 or 2.05. Columbus minus 125 or 1.8. Over under set at 6.5. I like the visiting dog, New Jersey, to win again. Back-to-back games against Columbus. Columbus just seems to be in a tough spot, and until they prove otherwise, I can't back them right now. Number 7, another division matchup. At first place against a last place. We got Nashville against Arizona. Not really a ton to talk about, but we will anyway. Arizona 2-7-1 in their last 10. Current 1-game winning streak. Karl Vegemelka listed to be in net. Nashville has Saros listed to be between the pipes. They're 8-1-1 in their last 10. Current 2-game winning streak. Arizona, last place in the division, last place in the league. 32 games in and only 17 points. Yet, last action was against Chicago, a 6-4 victory over the Hawks. The Coyotes only registered 25 shots, but 5 of them made it past Marc-Andre Fleury. And then they also had an empty net goal. 2 for 5 on the power play. Travis Boyd with a big game, logging a goal and a couple of helpers. No question the Coyotes have been playing a little better hockey. I think they've won 2 of their last 4 games. But playing the first place team, Nashville, doubled up the LA Kings their last game Thursday 4-2. Saros with a season record 46 saves. The Preds were outshot 48-20, but 2 for 3 on the power play and held LA to 1 for 4 when down a man. Philip Forsberg with 6 points so far through 3 games this year, playing again some nice hockey. Teams met first November 13th when Nashville won that game 4-1, and this is the second of 3 games. Money line has Nashville as the favorite, 1.4 or minus 250. Arizona, 3.1 dog or plus 210. Over under set at 6. I like the visiting favorite here. Nashville, number 1 team, should not lose to the last place team, so Nashville should win that game. Next one, number 8, Washington against Minnesota. Minnesota is 5-4-1 in their last 10, current 1-game winning streak. Kappa Kokkonen listed to be in net for the Wild. Washington, I'm not sure if Vitek Vanacek is going to feel all right. He could be in net. If not, it'll be Fuchel that'll be in net, I think. They're 5-3-2 in their last 10, current 1-game losing streak. Minnesota in 4th in the Central with 42 points. Last played Boston on Thursday when the Wild hung on, won that game. It was a final 3-2 score for the Wild. Nice one, Matt Boldy at the age of 20 making his NHL debut and scoring what ended up being the winning goal in that game. It was the only 5-on-5 goal in the game. The Wild have a lot of holes right now, and this is the last game they play until Wednesday. They're looking forward to that break so they can heal up some of these bodies, hopefully by midweek. Washington, another team on the tail end of back-to-back hockey, played St. Louis Friday and suffered a 5-1 loss. Caps opened the scoring in the first period, but that was it for goals. Ovechkin kept off the scoreboard for a second game for the second time this season, and there has not been a 3-game stretch where he's been kept off the board, so we'll see what happens here with the Wild. Washington's going to want to end their road trip here with a positive and find a W somehow. You got to think that. If both teams are healthy, I would lean the Wild, but that's not the case. I mean, the Wild, Jonas Brodin, Nick Bjugstad, Joel Eriksson-Ek, now Kirill Kaprizov, Jared Spurgeon, Jordan Greenway, Brandon Duheim, all out with injuries and COVID. It's the first meeting between these teams. They play again in April. Again, only opening lines. Again, if they were both healthy, I would lean the Wild, but I think you got to go Washington even on a back-to-back. Washington minus 145 or 1.69. Minnesota plus 118 or 2.18. Over-under set at 6. I like Washington to win the game. That's my pick, visiting team. Then, that number 9 game, the Ottawa-Vancouver game, that's the most recent one that's been postponed. So we move on to Chicago against Vegas. Kind of a neat game here. We got Vegas at 7-2-1 in their last 10, current 1-game winning streak. Robin Lehner listed to be in net. Against Chicago, 2-5-3 in their last 10, current 1-game losing streak. Marc-Andre Fleury listed to be in net. But the way he looked in that last game, I'm not sure if he's 100% and if he will play. If he doesn't, it'll be Soderblom, but I think Marc-Andre Fleury is going to want to play this game. Vegas first place in the Pacific with 47 points. Played Thursday against the New York Rangers and an impressive 5-1 victory because the Rangers are a nice, strong team right now. Mark Stone back on the points board with a goal. The Knights outshot the Rangers 35-20, 1 for 3 on the power play, and it was the first win this calendar year for the Knights. Robin Lehner obviously facing his former team, and at the other end of the ice you got Marc-Andre Fleury facing his former team. The Hawks played Arizona on Thursday, and it ended up on the losing end of a 6-4 final. Fleury was in goal for that game, and a rough one. 5 found the back of the net, and that was only on 25 shots. Chicago has lost 6 straight now. To break it, he's been trying to do his part. He's got 4 goals in his last 3 games, but Chicago's having a bad stretch. This will be the first of 3 games between these clubs, both teams missing some pieces. Money line, Chicago as a big dog, plus 190 or 2.9. Vegas minus 230 or 1.43. Over under set at 6. I like the over here. I think we could see a lot of goals here. Over set at minus 105 or 1.95. I like Vegas to win the game, and I like it to go over. Next game, number 11, we got the Rangers against Anaheim. Anaheim 5-3-2 in their last 10, current 1-game winning streak. Anthony Stolar is listed to be in net for the Ducks. The Rangers have Shesterkin listed, but I think he's not going to be able to play. I think he's still dealing with COVID restrictions. So it'll be Alexander Georgiev, who will be in net for the Rangers. They're 5-4-1 in their last 10, current one-game losing streak. The Ducks, they sit second in the Pacific with 43 points, played Philadelphia Tuesday. That resulted in a 4-1 victory for Anaheim. A good win for the Ducks, a team that's having an incredible season in my opinion, but right now dealing with a manpower issue. Thursday, they placed 4 more people in COVID. John Gibson, Sam Carrick, Hampus Lindholm, and Vinny Lettieri, all listed in COVID now. They were supposed to play Detroit. That game got postponed. The league stepped in, postponed that one. And we'll see what happens with this one, right? I mean, there'll be more test results coming back tomorrow. Hopefully some of these guys can get back in the lineup for the Ducks. I mean, they got to get back in the win column, so we'll see what happens there. New York, I mean, they're 1 point behind the number 1 Carolina team in the Metropolitan. They played Thursday against Vegas when Vegas handed the Rangers that 5-1 loss. It was not a good game for the Rangers. They were outshot 35-20. They were 0-for-2 on the power play. They allowed 1 when down a man. I mean, they out-hit Vegas 45-17. It just looked like they were frustrated through that whole game. And they're missing some pieces too, right? I mean, Panarin's still going to be out for this game. And again, I think Shesterkin will be out for this game. It's the first time that these teams will meet this season. They meet once more in March. Moneyline opening odds, I mean, they're plus 150 for either 1 or 2.5. It doesn't matter if you go New York or Anaheim. No lines are set for this game yet. If some bodies can come back for the Ducks, I like the home dog here. I think the Rangers might lose a couple here. I like Anaheim. Home dog to win that game if the game gets played. That's going to be my pick. It's going to be Anaheim. Number 12, the last one, we've got Detroit against the LA Kings. LA has Jonathan Quick listed to be in net. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10. Current 2-game winning streak. Detroit has, I think it's going to be Nedeljkovic in net for Detroit. It could be Grice, but I don't think so. They're 4-6-0 in their last 10. Current 1-game winning streak. LA sitting 5th in the Pacific with 37 points. Last action when they were doubled up by Nashville. So they don't have a current 2-game winning streak. I have to check that. I think it's maybe a 1-game losing streak now because they did get doubled up by Nashville 4-2. This loss was not the result of lack of effort, that's for sure. They peppered Saros with 48 shots. Streaky hockey is the best way to describe this LA team right now. I mean, the loss against Nashville when they registered 48 shots, only 20 against Quick and 4 made it in the net. It reminds me a little bit of Vancouver, right? What they were going through. So LA could turn it around. I don't know if it'll be this game because Detroit's playing nice hockey. Playing Detroit, they last played Tuesday when they won 6-2 over the Sharks. It was a crazy game where the Red Wings did not just get 1 shorthanded goal, but they got 2 shorthanded goals in like 37 seconds. Sutter and Bertuzzi with those goals. They also each had a goal when it was 5-on-5. And then Dylan Larkin and Robbie Fabry with the other 2 goals. It was a strong victory for Detroit, no question. I watched a good part of that game, and it was a good game. Very comparable teams here. Another first meeting, so no history between these two this season, and I didn't look at historical data. They will play twice this regular season. Detroit, I mean, the one concern I have is they have struggled at home, right? They're 4-10-1 when they're on the road. And that's where they've struggled. Their home record's much stronger than that. But on the road here, money line plus 130 or 2.3 for Detroit, minus 150 or 1.66 for LA. Over under set at 5.5. I like the over here big time, minus 105 or 1.95. And I'm going to go the visiting dog. I like Detroit right now. I like the way they're playing, and I like to see them beat this LA team. So our balance is at $100.26. Best bet, we're going to make it Colorado. We're going to put $5 on that game. We're going to do 3 parlays. New Jersey and Colorado on 1 parlay. Dallas and Florida on another parlay. Washington and Dallas on another parlay. 2, 2, and 2, 2, 2, and 2, 2, 2, and 2 on all those parlays. I'm only going to do 1 over under. I'm going to go Detroit, LA over 5.5 and go 3 on that game. So we're going to risk $6, $12, $18, $21, $26, and we'll see where we end up at the end of Saturday. Regular picks, I'm going to go Detroit to beat LA. I'm going to go Anaheim to beat New York. Vegas to beat Chicago. Washington to beat Minnesota. Nashville to beat Arizona. New Jersey to beat Columbus. Florida to beat Carolina. Philly to beat San Jose. Tampa to beat Boston. Colorado to beat Toronto. And Dallas to start the day by beating Pittsburgh. Lots of hockey on. Hope everyone has a great Saturday. The weekend started off well. Stay safe. Enjoy the hockey. Thanks for watching. Talk soon.